Okay. It was a very long day. It was a good day. It was a great day. It was just long. I just got home after being gone for like 13 hours. So I have Jack in the Box. Don't judge me. Don't you dare judge me. But I do have Jack in the Box. I mean, generally I've been eating good, but this was the easiest and cheapest thing to get because I had a coupon. Also, yeah, I'm like still in my work clothes and shit, and I'm not gonna do a reading. I decided that maybe we could do like a story time or something. Because I can't do a reading at the same time that I'm eating. Listen, there was one girl missing from our team today, which I guess is probably why it took so long, in part. But we only did 2 houses, but the one house we were there from like 9:45 or so. 8:45. No, we got there at 9. We were there from 9 a.m. until like 4 p.m. without a break. Just cleaning. That's crazy. And it was a move out. There was nothing even in the house, technically. I mean, there was, but that's crazy. And then we went and cleaned another house, and it took 3 hours. And because it was during traffic time, it took us like an hour to get there. Just wild. We did such a good job, though. I was so satisfied with the cleans. And I was very, very happy that my teammate was so good. Normally it's her and her sister, and I'm their lead. But it was just her today, and she really did it. She did incredible. I'm so proud of her. She was so tired by the end of the day, because we hadn't eaten either. We didn't take lunch today. She did so good. Yeah, so that was my day. But we weren't able to work yesterday. I ended up spending the entire day looking for a mobile mechanic to come out. Because I woke up in the morning, well, I went to go leave in the morning, and my fucking tire was flat in the company car. The fuel pump went out last week, and we didn't get it fixed. We've just been keeping it filled with fuel. But the fuel, the tire was flat. And I was like, so we had to find a mobile mechanic who came out, and he just happens to live right up the block. He came out and fixed everything, which was wonderful. But it did take all day. I was gone with my boss all day. Like, went to his house to go pick up the water pump, and then, like, I was trying to find a mechanic, while his wife was trying to figure out all of our leads changes and our shift changes and stuff, because we were hoping that we could get the car fixed sooner and actually pick up some work for yesterday, but we weren't able to. So she was crazy busy too. It was just quite a day yesterday. And then we went and dropped the checks off to my teammates, and stopped at the bank. And went and picked up the tire, and then went into a different place and got it put on. After the mechanic that came here put the fuel pump in, and then he put the donut on, and then we had to go to a different place to have the tire actually changed out, because it was the valve stem that needed to be replaced, which was nice, but my boss just got a whole new tire too. So it was just a day. It was quite a day. Quite a day. And then today was quite a day. And I assume tomorrow will probably be too. I don't even know what story to tell you guys. What do you want to hear? What kind of story you want to hear? Something wild and crazy, I assume. Did I even finish my Baltimore story? Yeah. That wasn't fun. I mean, I've had funner. I'm full of crazy stories, but I don't feel like telling a crazy story. I feel like telling a funny story or a fun story. You know, I'm sitting here fucking mowing down on tacos. I probably look ridiculous to begin with, so I would like to match that vibe with a story. I don't know. I just felt like I had an hour before quiet time. Like before I have to be quiet. And I didn't do a reading today, so I was going to do a reading, but then I was like, oh, I'm eating. Maybe I'll just do a story. But now I can't think of anything. My friend Ian thinks I should start calling people out for being shitty to me. And I don't necessarily disagree. It's not like a poor pitiful me, look at what I've been through type thing. Or like a don't trust this person because they're a fuck kind of thing. But I've been gaslit so much that like it's hard. It's hard to tell my stories because every time I do, the people that have been involved are always like, what's not the people involved? I mean, sorry. Recently I was talking to this guy that I was willing to be interested in. I'm like really trying to be in the energy of being able to date. I think it'd be cool to be able to like date like a normal person, like go out on dates and enjoy people's company without like it just being, oh, let me pretend to be cool with you for a couple hours so that I can get you in bed. Or like, that's what I'm trying to do, and then when you don't sleep with me, now I'm mad at you. Also, like, even if I have sex, I'd like for like a relationship to be involved. Like, I'm not trying to just like have sex and then like feel something for that person, because why else would I be having sex with them at this point? And then them like ignore me, and then like 2 weeks later be like, oh hey, sorry, or it's 3 a.m. and I'm horny. I'm kind of tired. Kind of tired of that whole spiel. I'd like to just date, get to know somebody. I mean, I'm very sexual. I'm very flirtatious. I get it. But, like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But, yeah, I was talking to this dude, and, the thing about it was that, like, he had been showing interest on my social media. I had added him on social media and been following him and, like, interacting with his things because he's a comedian, and I was showing support, as I do. But I thought he was cool, you know. I was interested in him to some degree. And then he started, like, hitting me up, letting me know that he was interested. And I was like, sweet. So then I gave him my number and we started talking. And in a matter of 4 days, like, he talked to me all the time. Meanwhile, like, maybe I wasn't paying attention, maybe I was. I mean, I was engaging to the degree that he was engaging, but he was the one calling me mostly. And then we would just talk forever. And, like, he enjoyed talking to me forever. Like, for, like, hours and hours. And by hours, I don't just mean, like, a couple hours. Like, when I talk to, like, my good friends, I'm talking, like, just all fucking day. Just all day. And, like, it was cool. It was cool to get to know somebody, but it was also a bit overwhelming for both of us. Which is, like, then we don't need to talk every day. Like, but he would get weird. Like, that's why we had to talk, like, all day, every day for 4 days in a row. Because the second I started to just, like, pull away a little bit, he was, like, a little insecure. And I genuinely did find myself interested in him, so I wasn't trying to let him be. But then there came a point where it was like, okay, you're being codependent, and I don't like it. And, like, as soon as we had any issues, all of a sudden, like, he had a big issue, and then, like, not really. I mean, I had brought up different things, but, like, I was still, like, handling it kind of, I wasn't really expressing myself fully. And, our conversation just kept getting, like, more and more intimate. You know, like, where we're getting to know each other, it's like deepest, darkest secrets sort of thing. We're, like, talking about past relationships and stuff like that. And then he brings up how we're just trauma bonding. And I was like, well, I'm not. And he's like, well, yeah, we're just talking about all this bad stuff. And I was like, well, personally, I think that a trauma bond is when you're, like, trying to bond off of the trauma where like there's this separation between like, oh, we relate to each other because of this similar trauma. You have that trauma, I have this trauma. You can help me, I can help you. Like that becomes toxically codependent. But just talking about experiences that you've had in your life isn't, even if they've been traumatic, like isn't necessarily trauma bonding. Even if you both can share those things, like there's a line where it becomes toxically codependent, in my opinion. But I was like, fine, then we don't need to talk about these things. He was like, no, it's fine. I just, I think I needed this and la 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 la. And he's like being some type of way with me, which is fine. But then like I happened to mention that when I was 16, I interacted with one of his favorite rappers on MySpace, and he flipped a fucking lid. He tried to act like the problem was all of the things that I had said for the last 3.5 days. Kept shitting on me for everything. Well, you told me this, and you told me this, and you told me that. He literally wrote an entire list of all the things that I told him and how crazy I sounded and how he couldn't believe me because I sounded just like his ex. And it was like, he was being really fucking rude. And I was like, okay, bro, like, one, I don't know your fucking ex, so like compare me to them all that you want, but I don't compare. Like, that's not even something that I'm not sitting here comparing you to my exes. Like, the fuck? That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. That you're finding similarities and it's tripping you out. Like, probably because you're attracted to the similar type of people. Yeah, well, my ex went through a whole bunch of stuff with her family and then, relied on me for everything. I was like, okay, well, I'm not relying on you for anything. I'm not asking you for anything. In fact, I'm trying to get you to stop doing that. He's like, well, you told me all this stuff and I'm just absorbing it. I was like, right, which is literally exactly what I told you not to do. As we were talking about things, I said, if this is too much, we don't got to talk about it. And you're like, no, it's fine. And it's like, okay, well, observe things. Don't absorb them. Like, I'm not asking you to take care of me. I'm good. I'm happy. I've just had a life, so I'm sharing my experiences with you. If that's too much for you, I don't need to share them with you. But please don't think that I'm asking you for anything by sharing them with you. He's like, no, you're such a great guy. So if I involve myself to some degree romantically just for him to write this whole fucking list about what a crazy person I am because of everything I've been through. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm at a point where I don't really... He tried. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be affected by that negatively, but like, he really did try to get me to be in a space where I didn't want to share myself with anybody anymore. And even said like, well, maybe I'm just self-sabotaging and putting it all on you. I was like, okay, then stop doing that. He's like, no, but it is you. And listen, why is it that you say all of the right things? What the fuck are you talking about? Because I compliment you? Damn. Sorry you're so hurt, man. But I can't even be nice to you without you thinking I'm trying to manipulate you. The only thing I can tell you is give me a chance or don't. But it still is in the back of my head all the time, where like as soon as I start to want to share a story about myself, I just think about like people adding up every little detail of everything that I've ever said and be like, damn, she went through this and she went through this and she went through this. He like shit on me for hiking to Texas, which I was like, that's something I was proud of, asshole. No, it wasn't in the best circumstances, but I'm not like gonna sit here and shit on myself about it. Why are you shitting on me for everything? Like, well, I'm probably just feeling really insecure because I've never actually like felt a lot of these things that I'm feeling with you. Like, okay, then don't project that onto me. So like I handled it fine, but like it did stick with me and it makes me frustrated. I want to be able to date, but every dude I let myself get close to is a fuck. He's a crazy person. I'm crazy enough. I don't need help. I'm also not asking for help. I can help myself. I'm not even asking for reciprocation. All that I want in a partner at this point is like genuine appreciation. It means so much to me. Like, there's people that like make me feel appreciated when they get something out of me, but then when I'm being shitty, suddenly I'm the worst person in the world. The people that have stuck around through that, those are the ones that are getting any attention from me right now. To be clear, that's one person at all. And that's someone who's dealt with me being super shitty. My shitty, terrible self for the last 15 years. They've known me this entire time, and they've liked me this entire time just fine. And they're a decent person. I can't be that fucking bad. Worst thing about me is that I'm self-aware enough to recognize that that person deserves better. And they've had better. They've had a lot worse too. But they still are my friend. They're still there. I don't know. I don't know, because I'm hard pressed against dating that person, even though there's literally nothing I'm not attracted to them about. I've always been attracted to them. I just believe that they're far better than me. Which I'm seeing now that maybe they're not. Maybe they're just very different. The conversations we've had recently, because I like go like extended periods of time without talking to them. I've known them for 15 years. So like, I've gone without talking to them for years. And when I do talk to them, everything's chill. We fought a few times. But it's never anything like crazy. We just get annoyed with each other. And I turn to get real shitty. I get shitty. I turn into a dick. He's a bitch though. He's not a bitch. He's a sass. He's kind of a dick. But he's not. He's just sassy. I'm a bitch. And I'm a dick. And he puts up with it. He really does. He always has. And he would date me. But I just never feel good enough. Because he has a good family. There's like some core fundamental things that I feel like he just doesn't understand. But like, I've spent the last 20 years dating toxic men because they understand me. They understand my toxic family. They understand why I'm so fucked up. They have fucked up families too. So they get me. And meanwhile, like, their fucked up families are the exact reason why I don't end up wanting to be with them. Like, my ex, if my ex wouldn't have kept trying to kill me I would have stayed with him. But even then, like, ultimately, like, even when he started to get better, it was like, yeah, but your family's fucked up. I love them. I love them. I love a lot of really fucked up people, but, like, do I really want to be around that all the time? I don't know. This is just self-therapy. I'm not even telling you a story. I'm just feeling some type of way. I really wanted to make the most of this time, but I feel like I need to take a little breaky break, and I guess I'll just be back to it some other time. Because that's about all I got for this one. I don't know. I'll make a video worth watching the next time. Thanks.